Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to Goalchat as we continue the happy mid-year celebration. I'm Debra Eckerling, goal strategist, book proposal specialist, podcaster, obviously, and author of Your Goal Guide and 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting. You can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people. Every week, I bring together some of my people to dive into the topic of the week. And because it's the mid-year, and because my beautiful book, 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting, it has a new home with books that save lives. We are re-editioning, and we are choosing to celebrate all July long. And my birthday, I'm Leo. My birthday is first week in August, so we're just gonna spill the celebration over. But the bonus secret in the action chapter is Just Go, which came from actor Greg Grunberg. And I'm like, let's just do all of the goal chats under the Go theme. So we did Go Meet People last week, and this week, next week we're doing Go Eat. This week we're doing Go Be Creative, because that is really the essence of all of the things. And for 52 Secrets, I interviewed 60 achievers in business, tech, entertainment, food, and other creative fields. And today I brought some of my creators, and we're going to talk about creativity, and let's see how many times I can use that word together. So we have, and I'm going to introduce backwards today. I usually go alpha, but Brenda Knight, who is my book champion and the publisher of Books That Save Lives and an author in her own right, is here, and she gave a secret in the leadership and teamwork section. And then we've got a Heather Eck, who's an intuitive artist and synesthesiast. I said it right. I pronounced it right twice in a row. Go me. Is all about using color to better your life. And then Holly Homer, I believe you're in the productivity section. And Holly and I like, yes, should I maybe studied a little bit? Nah. It's all about the fun. But Holly and I have known each other the longest because we met IRL. Actually, of the three of you, you are the only person I think I've met in person, even though I've been working with Brenda since the end of 2018. She championed Your Goal Guide as well. But yes, so we met at Social Media Marketing World, and you're always doing, and at the time you were doing like 8-hour live shows. Remember? Do you still do those?
No.
Okay, good. Got your sanity back. I met Brenda when through her publishing Your Goal Guide, which came out in January 2020. Wasn't that a fun year? And then Heather, I think, was one of the last editions because I was working on the book and I had met her and had her on Goalchat. I'm like, color in the book? It's something, and the whole book is, it's like a menu of advice to help you set and achieve your goals. So anyway, I've got this lovely panel of creatives today. And actually, usually I just rave about how awesome they are and tell you nothing. And I think I actually told you stuff today. Interesting. But I'm going to still let them introduce themselves better. So actually, we will go back to alpha, because why wouldn't we? As Heather's sneaking on the chapstick. Heather, welcome. You might be watching us as Goalchat Live. You might be watching the replay. You might be listening to us as the Goalchat podcast on the Marketing Podcast Network. We are glad you're here, and I am so glad, my guests, that you are here. Okay, now Heather, you may introduce yourself now that I've done all of the things.
You're the best. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm Heather. I'm based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm a contemporary abstract painter. And my work really explores the wonder and the beauty and the sacred in our everyday lives. And I do that through synesthesia, which Deb pronounced correctly. That's awesome. I can see and sense color around people. And when I smell something, taste something, what have you, I see it in my mind's eye, a shape. And so I like to paint what I see for people. I also have a podcast on the Marketing Podcast Network called Your Radiant Spirit, where we explore all the many different ways that you can improve your life through color, through wellness, through spirituality, and just noticing the ways that life is always communicating to you.
It is seriously cool. That's just like all I have to say is that,
Thank you.
well, if you think about it, when you meditate on a color, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but when you meditate on a color, but even when you eat a color, there's something about doing that helps you draw what you need toward you. So definitely look for a color analysis from Heather as a certain point in the episode. Thank you for being here. Okay, Holly, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank you. So, I don't know, 23, 24 years ago, I accidentally started one of the first mom blogs. And so my online experience started with pure creativity. I had never written anything. I was a physical therapist. So I was in science class when everybody else was doing creative stuff. And so it was just really an awesome way of just saying what was inside my heart. And so that kind of grew. And I just love the way that the internet opened up just doors that I could just walk through with no experience, no knowledge, no skill. And that's what led me to where I am right now, where I created a software that was just acquired by a company called Digistore24. And now I'm doing organic and AI content for the entire ecosystem over there. So it's like a weird journey.
It also shows what happens when you're good, right?
Yeah. It's and you don't have to really actually be good. You have to do stuff.
And again, in the productivity chapter, your secret is baby steps every single day, which sounds like it sounds really trite, but my goodness, it works.
I built an empire. So
out of baby
just one
steps.
tiny step at a time. And by the way, love color, so I'm on the right.
You're on the right. We picked the right panel for sure. Well, welcome, Holly. I'm really glad to see you because this is really the only time we get to catch up is when you're on the show, which is, partly what the show is for. Brenda, welcome.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Brenda Knight. I'm a publisher of books that save lives. I've been in publishing. I joke that it's been 1,000 years, but actually it's been 30 plus, starting at HarperCollins. And I think it was 15 years ago, I was at a work retreat, and there was a facilitator, and they were having little one-on-ones with people. And they were asking us all, what do we think our purpose in life was? And I didn't see that question coming. So I had to answer on the spot, what I really thought in my gut and heart. And I said, it's to bring forth the creativity in others, particularly in writers. So I feel like I'm in the right posse here in this podcast. And I also wanted to say that my sister, who's a musician, says she has synesthesia and that musical notes have a color for her.
Awesome.
Ooh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Look at, they don't just, this was completely an accident. It's all blondes and Deb. Okay. All power blondes and a power Deb, I guess is the right way to put it. And the whole champion thing, Brenda, I have heard other people refer to as your book fairy godmother, something.
Oh, yeah.
But before I jump us back into the Foursquare, and I know the answer, but where did the title of your imprint, Books That Save Lives, come from? Because that also ties in really well to this mission.
Yeah, it came about so authentically and beautifully and naturally. We were, it was during the early-ish COVID when everything had to happen on Zoom, every meeting, every celebration, everything. And so we were having a little appreciation of authors on Zoom. And I think there was 45 authors, sharing their, successes a little bit with a Deb vibe. And one of them said that she was celebrating that her book had saved several lives. That was Kim Colgrove of
Mhm.
Mindfulness for Warriors. And her book is to help deal with trauma and healing and recovery for first responders. That includes military, police, firefighters, etc., all kinds of first responders. And those are very stoic people, but they were coming up to her at events and like pulling her aside and whispering, I'm only here because of your book. I had a plan, I had a plan and I was going to, put it into place and end everything, but I'm still here because of your book. And so I think I burst out like, oh my goodness, our books are saving lives, which feels like the highest calling, any kind of publishing could possibly have. And so in that moment, bing, ding, like I realized, oh, I should have an imprint, Books to Save Lives. And so I started that, and now I have a publisher called Books to Save Lives.
Love it. And as people who know me know this, I think, goals is the good 4-letter word, because goals equal hope. And when you've got a hope, you've got what you're working toward. And although it is not the direct definition of saving lives, you need that to endure, to get up in the morning, right? We live in crazy times. Understatement, understatement, understatement. But when you've got something you're working toward, and you can even keep it like in your back pocket as like, I call it a giggle project sometimes, because it makes you giggle when it's like you've got this great secret of something you're working towards. That is the essence of the way that a goal helps you move forward, when you've got control over literally nothing else. And this is why we celebrate the mid-year. And I start the new year in December. I do New Year, New You, because it would be silly if I didn't. But basically, I celebrate goal every day, every week, every month is an opportunity to set new goals and make new plans. So I feel like creativity, which is why I wanted to do this as one of the panels, that's like the essence of finding those giggle projects, the things that drive you. So what is it, before we get into the advice, I would love to know, what do each of you love that you're working on right now? And we'll go reverse. So Brenda, let's start with you. What do you love about what you're working on creatively?
Well, this is like sort of unusual for me, but it has to do with astrology. And I was talking to a publisher that I'm probably a much bigger publisher that I used to work for, about packaging books for them. And I talked about a whole bunch of ideas, and I talked about the secret of what makes people compatible romantically, astrologically. Mm-hmm. And I had I've studied astrology since I was a little kid, because I had a very eccentric aunt, Edith, who came. She lived in the city, which was Columbus, Ohio, and she would come down to the farm I lived on as a child, and like she would just talk about whatever was interesting to her. And I really liked astrology. I was well versed in astrology before I was even in the first grade. I mean, that's how deep it goes back for me. And so it's just been a little hobby my whole life. Obviously, I've had plenty of time to like work on the hobby. And so I do know what makes a couple like spark, and like with that even our like marriage material. It's the sun and the moon. Like if I have, I mean, and actually astrology helped me find a very happy, marriage, so, but like it's the sun and the moon. And like, so Deb is a Leo, we know, and Leo season is coming. I believe it starts tomorrow. Yay for Leo season.
Woohoo! So
if she were to bump into a man that could be almost any sun sign, but if he had moon and Leo, there might be sparks. So that's just one of the astrological secrets. So the book is called My Sun and Moon. And it's like the secrets of synastry and how to find love in the stars.
Oh, and this is yours?
Yes.
Oh, see, this is the first that I'm hearing
Well,
about
it's
this.
brand new, and it's like, I mean, it was
Congratulations.
something like, and it's the publisher that I was pitching, like, out of everything, he was like, "Oh my God, that Sun and Moon book, like, we have to have that." And I was like, "Oh, how fun! Okay, great." But I also think that it might be like a sign, like, you know, to all of us to think about, like, when you really love something, even if you think, oh, it's just my hobby, it actually, maybe you should look at those hobbies. Maybe there's something you love it so much, and like it's so much a fabric of who you are, your identity, that like you should let it shine.
Well, I love that. And you know this, but you're actually responsible for what I'm doing now, because I always thought the goals were my thing, and goals will always be my thing. But when I did the book proposal for 52 Secrets, you're like, Jeb, this is really good. Is this part of your business? And I said, it's the secret venue. Should it stop being a secret? And you said, yes. People need this skill set. And because between the goals and my background in project management and communication, and it's a little over 2 years ago that I got the green light on this baby. And so that's what evolved. And I'm lucky because I love goals and I love being the book proposal expert and all of the things. But that's a really good example of something that you love that kind of spiraled into actually my alpha thing that I do. So thank you, Brenda. I say this behind your back all the time, so may as well say it on camera. But the exact point taken, an example of what something that you love that sparked something. The other thing that we should mention is Mercury is in retrograde, which everybody freaks out about, but it's a good time to finish projects. So the fact that this got a green light during Mercury retrograde, I think speaks very good for the future of this book.
And we have 5 more days.
I know, and then it comes out of shadow on my birthday.
Yes.
Or like right before on August 6th. So anyway, yes, we could do this all day. So Heather, you're just like leaning into everything Brenda has said.
Well, I love astrology too, but I don't know as much about it. But I was like, Brenda, can you talk about the barbell basket or Bardo's basket or something? It's just this like amazing astrological intersection of some kind. So I'll have to ask you afterwards about it. That's awesome. That's totally awesome.
So Heather, what are you working on that you're excited about?
So I just released a new collection of pieces that are all centered around the way that God draws us closer to him. And so it's a series of 9 pieces that are all named for things that are like forgiveness, acceptance, the warm perch. It's called Drawn Towards the Light. And so I haven't released a collection of work in a really long time, because I've been so focused on trying to explain color to people and trying to get them to understand. I think I leaned too far into the how and not just the what, which was the art. And so I'm really excited about this new direction, and I'm having fun just leaning into making and talking about my work, knowing that color is still a major tool, but it is a tool. It is not the thing. So I'm just kind of having fun and learning more and tweaking everything at this moment. That's why my monthly workshops are getting a little bit of a facelift, so that I can kind of think about a different way to help people notice more in their lives through art and through color.
Very cool. Well, and then the other thing you do is spirit portraits. So you're like literally painting their colors. Is that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So one of the things that I love to do is to tune into somebody's energy. And so I use a little bit of synesthesia with that, because when I meet somebody, I get an impression for them emotionally or physically in my body, and I'll also see color around them. And so I'll create a painting for them that offers messages and symbols and things that come through that give them a place where they can sort of anchor into their radiant, the radiance their spirit. We're here having a human experience, but we're also very spiritual. And so my art sort of addresses both of those and gives them a way to look at themselves differently.
Do you have like fun all of the time?
I do have fun. I think what's really interesting about this work is that if I try to get in the way, if I try to control it in any way, shape, or form, it goes very badly for me. I really have to let go. And there's somebody who, she was a celebrity who wanted a spirit portrait from me. And I could not get over the fact in my head that they were a celebrity. And so I did her spirit portrait about 8 times. And every single time it came out looking exactly the same. And I just kept going, this just isn't right, though. I just don't think this is right. And I would do it again. It would look exactly the same. And I was like, I don't know. This just doesn't feel right. And finally I was like, the first one was the right one. You need to let go. And I ended up sending her all of them. But it was a really good lesson for me to just let go and have fun and just let it be what it is and not overthink it.
Well, done is better than perfect. Art is never finished. It's abandoned. I mean, how many more of these can we do? It's all the same thing. You have to send it. It's like when you hit send on the final manuscript and you're like, okay, I'm good. No, really.
No.
Good. Yes. Okay, so Holly, what are you working on that you're excited about?
I just it's so weird, but I totally agree with the kind of things you can't control them. You just absorb them in. And so there's all these super random projects that I've done over the years that kind of come to fruition in a weird, odd ways. But I do believe no knowledge goes wasted. And so I have the weirdest stuff on my plate right now, and I love it all. I'm creating AI systems for content, and it's super that sounds like just boring, but it's so exciting and creative because it comes out slop if a human doesn't guide this. And so there's specific ways to get the output that you want and stuff like that. So I have that on the front of what I'm doing at work, but then I think of all the really fun things that I'm doing at home. I love to learn things. I'm learning mahjong. I play poker regularly. All these things that you don't necessarily think of as creative processes, but they really are when you just think of I don't know, I love mahjong, especially because it's so artful, and language and I don't know, culture within a game, which is really, really cool. So just lots of fun stuff that seems completely unrelated to each other, but someday will come be a reason.
So I have to ask about the whole AI thing. Mm-hmm. Might as well get it out of the way, right? How do you negotiate the creativity and the AI thing? Help us out here.
Yeah, so totally cognitive dissonance here, because I have 13,000 blog posts on the internet that AI trained, and 4 books that AI trained on, and then replaced me with my own words. So yes, on one side, I'm in a class action lawsuit against AI because that doesn't seem fair. And by the way, my income dropped 80% overnight because it literally sends no more traffic to me because it's using my own content against me. So that's one side. The other side is Pagewheel, is a software that we created right before AI hit. So we integrated AI really quickly into it, which allows us to create simple funnels, sales pages with a push of a button. But we couldn't have done that without AI, And so even when I was super bitter, I had a foot in each side. And the thing is this horse is out of the barn. And I lead a team of artists right now, and that are all struggling with AI versus no AI. And my point to them is, if you don't have your input on this, then this just goes without a creative process. And so, like, yes, is it something? It's like the dance with the devil to a certain extent, which seems like quite a spiritual point tonight. But on the other hand, if we as creative people don't take a hold of it, then it is going to happen without us. Like, so I just think to a certain extent, we have a responsibility to guide it, at least within my ecosystem. Like, if I am in charge of it, I want to make sure that it is used in the best way possible. On the other hand, it is a tool. It is a complete tool. And what I create with it, nobody else in the world could create with it. Like, it's not like you can just, use my prompt, because that's not how it really works anymore. It's like the processes that I go through with it creates a completely different output than anyone else in the world could do. And AI could never do it on its own, because AI doesn't have an output in its head, like, it's not, like, that's us. So I think one of the things I'm like calmer about AI after working in the trenches with it, because like there is no output like mine without me. And then on the other hand, I would encourage creatives who are scared about it, or it's not going to replace you. Like it is not human. We connect over human. Like, we don't.
There will never be an AI version of Goalchat.
No, or Deb, or Holly, or Brenda, or Heather. Like this. That is fantasy. But on the other hand, I think that's one of the kind of responsibilities to a certain set of some of us, to just step up and be involved in it, so that we don't end up in a world where it's just repeating itself over and over again, which is really the dystopian future if the creatives don't get involved.
Yes, and I agree with you about it being a tool, because even if you're using it to make a sentence or a paragraph better, there are still people who think that it's a substitute for them. Brenda, are you encountering people, or do most of the people are they smart enough to realize that they can't submit AI things?
Oh, yes, I think they know. And plus, actually, just last week, we started adding something like on the copyright page of all of our books, that this was, written without the use of AI, and that also like the art was created by an artist, and it's like zero AI. And like we realized, wow, we have to say that, because when we were, because now everybody thinks that there's the potential that something could be AI, or if not completely, partially. I think I probably knew that, but I needed to hear it. And we were having a meeting with our distributor, and we were showing them potential covers for spring 2027. And one of them said, or vice president said, I don't really like that one cover. It looks kind of AI. And it wasn't. But the minute she said it, all of a sudden I looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, it could be. We don't want that. So now we feel like we as a publisher, an independent publisher, need to make that really clear. We need our books and covers and everything to be clearly human generated. And I think AI is fine as a tool. I have a funny little double check that I came up with on my own when I'm asking it for research or any matter of things. I will ask at least 2 different AIs. I often get a completely different answer. When I get the same answer, I'm like, okay, well then maybe actually this is true. But I feel like, I guess it's still learning. Yes, it's learning by slurping up all of our content, and I had my content also slurped up, because the publisher who shall not go mentioned, that was the Deb's previous publisher, and they also published some of my books. They didn't copyright the books. They didn't do the copyright. The gal that was supposed to be handling that, sending books and paperwork to like the Library of Congress and making sure the copyright is firm in the person's name, the author's name, the creator's name. She didn't do that, and like didn't tell anybody didn't do that. So it means that like all of that is out there being slurped up and tested. And I actually have noticed that that like one of I have a pen name, Caradwyn Greenleaf, like sort of my really new age pen name. Like her voice is out there, like her writing is just out there, and that like in a certain space and segment of like the AI writing, it's Caradwyn Greenleaf, and that just horrifies me. But I can do nothing about it. I can't participate in that lawsuit because that publisher did not do the copyright. So I'm glad that Books That Save Lives was very tight on the copyright process, and we meet. It's a part of our weekly meeting on like making sure we're getting things done, like that. You have to build it into your system. So anyway, I know that AI I feel is still just getting started. So I think it's very good for all of us creatives to keep watching, keep noticing, stay aware and protective. Find for research, not books that I want to read or publish.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with research, this is what I found is when I'm working on comp titles or the audience section for the book proposals, I can't use ChatGPT because they give me much more dated material. So I need to go into another search engine because I asked for current and they give me stuff from 2013. So yes, great for research, but always check the links. Never take what they say for granted and use it as the first step down the rabbit hole. And before we get off of this awful subject, Heather, anything from the artist's point of view in AI? Is it impacting you at all?
I don't think it has personally impacted my work yet, but I've seen artists online, unfortunately, share big stores that have taken their paintings or their designs and have mass produced them in multiple places, not just taken from Etsy into Shein or Temu or Hobby Lobby or anything, like multiple places. And I've seen some artists address it and reach out to somebody and say, hey, that's my design. I came up with it X number of years ago or what have you. And the person responding and saying, I'm so sorry, I got it from ChatGPT. And so I think that there's something happening where the ideas that are being generated, even as, as an artist, sometimes you're looking for inspiration on something and you might go, give me 3 different subjects to paint today. Well, it might generate an image, but that image might be something
Someone
that has
else's
been,
art.
yeah, exactly. And then you go and reproduce it and you don't know that it hasn't. So yeah, I think it can be. I have found though, for me, I think playing with AI has been really fun and exciting. And it's been a really quick way to generate content when you need ideas, or even for me, like my podcast show notes, I'll upload the transcript and say, help me come up with an SEO or GEO optimized title for this episode. And I love what it gives me as a starting point. It's great. But what I've also found is that I have noticed that I have lost a little bit of my own creative voice. And so when I go to write my weekly newsletters or my missives to subscribers, I really try to sit with myself and say, what do I want to communicate this week? And tell a story about a personal thing that happened or what have you. And those emails get the most response from people versus one that I clearly used AI to help me write. And so I feel personally that I think people are looking for human connection now. I think we'll see the pendulum swing where you never used to want to call anybody. Now people are going to be like, I want to talk to somebody. I think we'll see that pendulum swing back where we're like, I want to hear your voice. You tell me what you think. Tell me about your day. What happened to you? Not just what AI told me to tell you was going on. So I feel like that's what I'm seeing, at least for myself, more and more.
I get so excited when the phone rings and it's a person, someone I know. It's like, yay, it's so nice to have a conversation without a screen. And screens are great, but sometimes the old-fashioned way is the best way. And you inadvertently led to my next question, or my first question. Have we ever gotten? Yes. Anyway, how do you find inspiration? Where does it come from for you?
Are you asking
Okay,
me?
I'm going to pick on someone.
Okay.
Well, I was going to pick on you, Heather, because you mentioned it. So where do you go? What do you do?
Recently I've noticed that I'm really drawn to songs and writings. Like if I do my daily Bible study and I find something where I'm like, ooh, I like this word or this phrase. This painting behind me here is called Hevel, and in Hebrew it means like vapor or air. And when I heard that word, I was like, oh, I love that word. So it's really, I think, for me, about connecting to some aspect of the word or the phrase or the lyrics that make me feel a certain thing. And then I kind of go and try to explore, why does it make me feel that way? What is it about that word? What is it about the idea of life being like air or like vapor, or like this, that it's quickly gone, that I'm drawn to? And I use that to sort of begin to explore what it might be saying to me. And then recently, about like feeling inspired to write about it myself, and to share that, hey, here's this word. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but here's what it means. Here's a painting I did about it. And I'm curious, what does it feel like for you? What sensation or what do you notice about it too? So that's sort of where I'm finding my inspo lately.
So you're getting the inspiration, you're being inspired, and then you're talking about how you got inspired in terms of content creation and sharing that with others.
And hoping it inspires them. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I feel like I need to go to Holly next, because that's kind of her area, right? Is the content.
Yeah, and I love the same thing. Like I do the Bible in a year thing, and I underline like the important stuff, but I'm always circling like the odd things, like the things that just hit me. So I love that, because you'll be like in these random books, and you'll be like, what in the heck? It's just like a really like kind of a trigger. And then I think like I always love like outside where I live, within walking distance of a lake here, the breeze, the water, like there's reasons why people like to see vistas, because I think that like just instantly takes you into like, oh, it's not that important. Like, let's just, get back to what is important. Because I think part of the biggest block of creativity is stress and being overwhelmed and these nitty gritty details that don't really make a difference. But the other thing that I think this is like, again, a bunch of very odd things that I'm into right now is I've been obsessed with the storytelling in K-dramas. And so like, there's just like, they are so good at like this, like weaving in like stories of family and culture and like love and, mystery and all this kind of stuff in a way that, well, first of all, that we've lost, I think, a lot in our modern cinema. Is good old fashioned storytelling without the, the violence and the, and the sex and all this kind of stuff. Just like, no, tell me a story that like fascinates me. And so I love that about it. It almost feels like, going back in time 20 or 30 or 40 years and seeing how people, would weave a tale.
Nice. And then from storytelling, we go to Brenda. So I love all these threads today. Brenda, where do you find inspiration?
Well, I think I share this with many people, like the shower. I call it like a phone booth to God or goddess. And honestly, I think that for me, it has to do with the fact that I'm a double Pisces. So water is my element. So literally like water raining down on me. Like I will have like all kinds of ideas, like business ideas, book ideas, ideas for authors, personal creativity. So whatever your element is, like, lean into that. Deb, your fire sign, so maybe candles, for you, because obviously we don't like to, yes, control.
Okay,
control
so what does it say that 52 Secrets came out right after the LA fires?
I know. Forged by fire, I guess. But also walking, so taking a walk, and I especially like to go where, like, even if it's just a street that has, like, beautiful gardens and trees and very established, like, plants and flowers and things like that. So like a beautiful garden is very inspiring to me. Like, what a sea of color, is almost any garden. And then also, Deb knows this about me, that I'm fueled by coffee. And I like really strong coffee. So I'll get like a triple latte and then sit down in the cafe. And I don't want my computer. I don't want my phone. I want pen and paper. And that is where my best writing and my best ideas and lists and things like that come from.
I love that. Yeah, everything, the short form stuff, always fingers to computer, but any projects of any merit, they start with the pen and paper, because there's a brain connection to it as well. I do a mandatory walk at the end of each day. Unless I'm going out, I walk around my neighborhood. And yesterday, I'm like, it's Sunday. So I was just doing stuff in the house. And I'm like, could I skip? And I just kind of said, Deb, you could walk the 3 blocks to the store and back. It's fine. Ran into one neighbor, walked with her and her dog. Ran into a different neighbor, walked with her and her dog. So my 10 minutes was like an hour and a half of communing with nature and having conversations, completely unexpected, which is why getting out of your house and getting out of your head, whether it's for coffee, communing with nature, or petting puppies, it's part of, you can try and fuel it in your own head, but you're much better off getting the outside vibes and sources. Did I say that in a way that made sense? Yes.
Wow.
Because so much of the Deb method is brainstorming. It's free thinking. It's getting it, because you can't arrange the blocks in your mind. But if you write it down, you can see the common themes, the roadblocks, the pieces of the puzzle to put it better together. Okay, so, and this was also brought up, what do you do to get unstuck? Brenda, do you have an unstuck solution?
Oh, definitely going for a walk. This is, I don't know why this just popped into my head. I used to be in like when I lived in closer to downtown San Francisco, my best friends and I were part of a trivia team at a bar, like a classic old bar in San Francisco. And like, how sometimes like, the answer to the question, but it's just not coming into your mind. And so I would say, okay, I'm going to get up and go for a quick walk. And I would like go for like just a quick little power walk. I would come back and the answer had come into my mind. So I would say walking, and sometimes like, you can like do deliberate problem solving and, and answer, like answer puzzles and problems and things like that. You can figure things out. Movement. I mean, maybe for some people it would be dancing or something like that. But I think movement can like bring, there's a physical intelligence, I think, that can help the brain.
One of the secrets in the well-being section is stand up. I mean, it's a couple pages, but the essence of exactly what you just said, it works wonders by just the action of getting off your, what, and walking around. So love that. Okay, so what do you do to get unstuck, Holly? I'm never unstuck. I'm always doing 100 things.
Well, that's part of it, is you're always doing 100 things. And so like, if you're stuck on one, you're just like on another one, which I think kind of helps, because you're like focused somewhere else, but you can use that headspace in between to be thinking about those other problems. So like, I think stop stressing out about being stuck is part of the issue here, because like it's not a permanent, it's not like you've lost your ability to become, like, it's just your brain is not ready for that right now. And I know we've talked about this in previous episodes, Deb, about the like just being okay with the season of creativity that you're in. Like when I had a baby, like I was in survival mode and there was no creativity. Like I couldn't even like think straight, you know. And so like to think like, oh, you need to be scrapbooking, or you need to be doing this, you know, or you need to be painting, or you need to be like I had painted his entire nursery, like all 4 walls prior to his birth. And then I couldn't even color a picture for a year, because, you know, like you're just overwhelmed. And so, but like it wasn't my season. And then once, you know, that passes and you have seasons of creativity and seasons that you're just surviving, and it's okay. Like stop stressing yourself over it. And I think sometimes you just need to look and say, is this a season or is it a temporary thing? Do I need to go out for a walk? Do I need a vacation? Do I need to like go play pickleball? You know, like what do you need to do? Like, and is it, you know, and then just like let it rest. Like if you're in a place where you have to have something creative done very quickly, that was poor planning. Like you might want to just sit back and step away from that plan, because that's not how creativity works. At least not in my life.
I often say that, and I say this off to my book proposal clients, because the whole purpose is you're writing this pitch for this beautiful document, which is the sales and marketing plan for your book. And there's a Heart and Book Specs where you talk about, you know, how long you anticipate you could write the book in. And I always say, you could put 3 months, you could put 4 months, you could put 6 months. But as a writer, I could tell you, you will write 75% of the book in the last month before it is due. Every single time. Heather, how do you get unstuck?
I think it's a combination of what has already been said. It's movement. I love a shower. I feel like I can wash away the day and just kind of stand there in like the scalding hot water, just trying to kind of let go. But 2 things that help me, I have a vibration plate. I don't know if you've seen these things. They just kind of shake you. And that does something to my nervous system. Like it really calms me down, whether I'm sitting on it. Movement piece is really helpful to me. But I also just, because I work from home and my studio is in my home, at the end of the day, sometimes I just want to go to a thrift store and walk around. And there's something about being in a thrift store for me that feels like it opens up a little bit of creativity, because I'm always looking at things that people have surrendered and thinking of different ways to use it. And I feel like that little bit, it just kind of sparks a little bit of creativity for me. But my really good friend Emily told me years ago that when you're stuck to, especially as an artist, we think of all the work that we do as having like art with a capital A. It has to be good enough to share or show or sell. And she's like, just make art with a lowercase a, you know, just make doodles or draw or color or whatever. Just do something creative, lowercase, that you don't have to show or share with anybody, and just give yourself 10 minutes of playtime. And that's helpful too.
Well, all of my art has a lowercase a. Being raised by an artist, I didn't need to do that. I got the words, she got the pictures, which was great. I'm going to add one more that hasn't been said yet, which is cooking. So that is my favorite way of getting unstuck, because you cannot be obsessively on your phone and chop vegetables or anything else for that matter. You need to disconnect, but then you get rewarded with food. So it's a twofold disconnection reward system. This has been such a wonderful conversation. I have to ask you, Heather, because I do this every single time. Can you see our colors?
I can try to. I think I'll have the hardest time with Holly because of all the beautiful colors behind you, because I can usually see best when there's just a white wall. So I'll start by saying that 3 of the 4 of us are wearing like a dark indigo blue, I think, or like an inky navy, which supports our inspiration, intuition, and imagination. So we came creative. And then I think, Brenda, you're wearing black tonight.
Yes.
Is that right? Awesome. So that is the color of sophistication and protection, and helps us to sort of stay in a place of like guarding our energy a little bit. So, but it's still sort of, we're all sort of in the same kind of family color, which was so interesting to me. So normally I see like yellow and orange around Deb. Almost every time that I do see her colors. I don't really see much orange, Deb. I see a lot of yellow for you, like right around your head, which is about identity and shifting your identity and seeing yourself differently. It's about joy and optimism, and playfulness too. So that's really nice.
I'm not going to argue that one. I like that. Thank you.
Brenda, you've got like a really pretty seafoam blue up around the top of your head, which is kind of like a turquoise color. That is about the throat and the heart. It's about like the divine feminine and about nurturing and caring for things. So it might just mean you're in like either a caretaking mode, or you're actively working on like more of a feminine approach to things, like easing, going with the flow, and allowing, if that makes sense for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Holly, let me see.
Sorry, there's a rainbow.
And while you're looking at Holly, I want to thank, if you're tuning in live or the replay, please put in the chat where you find your inspiration, because I don't want us all to learn from us. Let's learn from each other. So Danny and Joshua and Meryl, everybody who's been here, everybody who's been here live today, we so appreciate you coming and honoring your creativity with us. Okay, did I give you enough time to tune in?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great.
So I don't quite see it, Holly, but I feel it in my throat here, this sort of soft baby blue, and that's about expressing. So being able to communicate with authenticity and integrity, and just express what it is that you need to say without any worry about what anybody's going to think about it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Got it.
Can you read your own colors, Heather?
No, not really. Sometimes in the bathroom. I can see it in the
She's
bathroom.
too colorful in her background too.
I know, I'm way too colorful back there.
Well, I love this,
you.
and thank you for letting me put you on the spot. But you know, by now we cannot have a Heather on a Goal Chat without diving into the sea of color. And I think given the way that Brenda nurtures other writers, you're just spot on. Got her.
Awesome. I love that.
Friends, this has been great joy today, but we got a little business before we wrap up. So I would love for you each to gift a goal to the audience. What is something that they could do today, tomorrow, immediately to get into touch with their creativity? And let's start with you, Holly. What goal do you want to gift?
Well, you know me, I have to go back to the baby steps. And if you have not seen What About Bob, it's time to revisit the movie. And because it changed my life. And it's just literally do something today, even if it's a minute's worth, and do something tomorrow. And I love this in the creative process. One of the things that like I put into goals is like that something creative, learning something that I'm going to be terrible at. And it's actually good to be terrible at something for a really, really long time, because it actually like you problem solve in ways that you don't when you're an expert in something. So I would just say do something. Doesn't matter what it is. Do it every day, and just a little bit.
Okay, so can doing something you're terrible at be like the bonus goal?
I love that.
So do something today.
Yeah.
And then also do something you're terrible at.
Yeah. And like, I love that. I think it's a Garrett White quote that says, when you start something, you're going to suck at it, and you're going to keep sucking at it until you suck just a little bit less. And then, and then at some point, somebody's going to pay you for it. So, but it's basically, you're just going to suck at it. Like, it's okay. Stop overthinking this. Like, just do it.
I think overthinking, we decided, is like, it's the enemy of so many things, but
Everything.
Definitely of creativity, because that's literally the opposite of creativity, is thinking everything through or something like that. Brenda, what goal are you gifting?
Well, earlier during this chat, I was thinking I wanted to talk about writing with your non-dominant hand. So I guess this is the moment. So I think people should go sit somewhere where they don't normally sit to write. Like maybe it's your back deck where you relax, maybe your front porch, maybe somewhere that you associate with relaxation. Take your little pen and paper and write with your non-dominant hand and a new idea. And I think that if you like the non-dominant hand process, like do that every day, and then look at the list you come up with, and then pick the idea and go for it.
Ooh, I like that, because it like gets into your brain differently. Is that the logic?
Yes, and it also creates new neuron paths. It does.
Amazing.
Yeah, and we all need those.
Oh, absolutely. Ooh, fun. I like that. I'm going to try. And that's also something you're terrible at, writing with your non-dominant hand. So
I'm doing it right now. I really suck at
it. Okay, and Heather, what goal are we gifting? And by we, I mean you.
I think since we all talked about movement as a way to open up creativity and to get unstuck, I would say go for a color walk this week and just notice what color you're drawn to first. And then try to fill your camera grid with pictures of that color, just things that you've noticed or spotted, because it'll take you out of your head a little bit into your body, and it'll bring some awareness to just what you see around you. And then that color that you were drawn to is offering you a message, is telling you something that you can be focusing on.
Ooh, and how do we know what that message is?
So, well, if you want to, you can message me on Instagram and I'll tell you what it is. But essentially, each color is associated with an emotional, physical, or spiritual aspect. So red could mean you're focused on your physical body. Orange, you're focused on creativity and sexuality. Yellow, about identity and expression. Green or pink, about the heart space and love. Blue, about speaking up and speaking out. Your navy is about intuition and imagination. And then white or purple is about your connection to source, God, higher power. So it'll give you some.
I love how you rattled that off. That's amazing. This is why you're so good at what you do. Thank you for that. And this is a great time to tell people where they can learn more about you. So why don't you go first, Heather?
Awesome. You can find me over on Instagram. I'm there at Heather Eck Artist. And seriously, if you want to DM me and tell me what color you picked, it's me. I'll respond and tell you what it means for you. And then I've got a website called heathereck.com. And you can listen to my podcast, Your Radiant Spirit, wherever you get your podcasts on the Marketing Podcast Network.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And Brenda, who has a podcast that is going to be on the Marketing Podcast Network soon. Where can people learn more about you?
Go to booksthasavelives.net, and please make sure you sign up for our newsletter, where you'll get like monthly goodies, including, the occasional goodie from a person named Debra Eckerling, who knows a lot.
And you do Heart Wisdom panels once. Is it every month or a couple times?
It's twice a month.
Twice a month, and you can learn more about those if you're on the newsletter list as well. Awesome. Okay. And Holly, where can people learn more about you?
If you have children, especially little ones, go to kidsactivities.com. All sorts of fun things to do and a lot of creative things that you don't need to worry about how they turn out. And then really the best place to find me, I'm not really on social media much except for LinkedIn right now, which is like the weirdest thing for me to say out loud because I've just made fun of it my entire life. But now that's what I'm doing because I'm a corporate girl these days.
Yes, I see the invisible corporate girl hat that you are wearing.
I know. I don't know if I'll ever really fit in there, but it's fun. It's fun to try.
I worked in corporate from 2000 to 2007. And whenever I say that to people, they don't believe me.
I still laugh every time I say it.
Exactly.
I was like, I haven't had a job in 23 years, but now I do.
Well, and it's really the culmination of all the things that you are creative about, that you are passionate about, which goes back to what we've been saying this entire conversation. I think Brenda started that thread, doing the things that you love. You don't know where it's going to go, but you kind of have to run with it. Now you can go, I am at the Deb Method everywhere. You can go to thedebmethod.com/blog to get the recap and the goals and watch the replay. And of course, you can catch me live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then subscribe to Goalchat on the Marketing Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast. And I host 3.5 podcasts, including one called the MPN Meta Marketing Show. And we just released an episode where it was true confessions of podcast bloopers. And it's really good. So I'm going to put the link to the new episode in the chat. It's probably, this is my absolute favorite thing to do, but I love that one because my co-host, Keith Smith, pulls the snippets and says, okay, Deb, we're going to record now. So I just get to show up and talk. So always a good time. Anyway, and you can subscribe at the Deb Method on YouTube if you like the video elements as well. Oh my goodness, this has been so much fun and it flew by and I knew it would. I think earlier in the conversation, Meryl called up all Power Blondes and Power Deb. So thank you for that, Meryl. And Nicole, also, I missed you earlier for watching live. So if you watch this live, thank you. If you watch the replay, let us know what inspires you, because without inspiration is what keeps the creative juices flowing. And we need creativity to deal with all the other things that are going on in our lives, personally, professionally, in the world, all the other stuff. And creativity gets to be that happy place. Okay, so what final thought do you want to leave people with today? So we'll start with Holly. I'm going back to Alpha as a warning for the final thought. So what say you, Holly?
I say, just remember, I think all creativity starts with play. And so when all else fails, just do something fun, silly, playful.
Amazing. Okay, and Heather, final thought?
Yeah, I agree. I think go back to what you were curious about when you were a kid and look at what you enjoyed doing. Maybe it was like those little perler beads, or you liked making jewelry, or you liked to cook. Just something that gives you time away from your device and using your hands.
Amazing. Okay, Brenda, you get the final thought today.
Listen to your inner voice and believe in yourself.
Ooh, those are both really important. And I don't think we said those yet today. So, because your inner voice does not steer you wrong. And then the second part, listen to your inner voice and
believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. It's very warm. I had it on the tip of my tongue. But but it's sort of, and this is why I like that so much, it's all the parts come together. So in your gut the things that bring you joy, the things that you want to put out into the world, and you need to let the voice go out to play a little bit or a lot, and it's your belief that starts others believing in you. So I think that's a wonderful thing to end on. Thank you so much, Heather Eck, Holly Homer, Brenda Knight, for joining me today, for being part of, and in the case of Brenda, championing 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting. The thing I love so many things about this book, but the fact that I got to bring everybody in the book is someone I know. So the fact that I got to use it as a chance to hang out with people and impart their knowledge, and then I get to do more goal chats where I bring them together. I mean, it's a win-win for me. So whatever your goals are, whatever you want to do in life, remember to enjoy, have fun, and your goals are yours. So go on out there and go for it, because we know you can do it. Thanks, everyone.